Topic of today's discussion is the Justice League action figures in 12-inch size by Mattel and Spin Master. So first on the list would be Green Arrow. He comes with his bow, which is made as one piece, and then we have Aquaman from the True Moves series. Hal Jordan is Green Lantern, again True Moves series. Then we have Cyborg from the early Justice League series by Mattel. There are 2 or 3 more versions of him that came in the other different lines, but this is the very first version of him that was made in the 12-inch size. Next one we have Barbara Gordon as Batgirl, that came in the Batman Reborn, or sorry, not the Batman Reborn, the line prior to it. From Mattel. This is the only figure to date that's made of her in this size. Then we have Ben Affleck as Batman. This figure is based on the Superman vs. Batman movie that came a couple of years back. Then at the back here we have Shazam, based on the Shazam movie. Not a bad looking figure. They seem to capture the likeness of the actor quite well. Then one of the earliest Superman 12-inch figures from this kind of line. The head seems a little bit oversized, but other than that, he doesn't look as bad. However, this costume is not his classic costume, but it's based on the New 52 series of comics, when the whole DC Origins of Justice League was sort of retold with them wearing slightly modified costumes compared to the original ones. Then over here we have the Spin Master's take on Shazam. That's more comic book based, I would say. And this figure looks, I think, even better than the movie one. Then at the back here we have Flash from the True Moves. Then we have Nightwing, one of the 2 versions that are out there. Then we have Plastic Man from the DC Nations, and he has an action feature that he can extend his neck, just like in the cartoons. He's a very neat looking character and quite old in the sense of how long he's been around. But he just doesn't get enough exposure, I think. It would be nice to see him in his own series, or like he used to have many years ago. Then we have Henry Cavill as Superman. Again, this is based on the Superman vs. Batman, this particular figure. Then we have Spin Master's take on Superman in his more of a closer to the classic costume that he's wearing. Then we have the DC Nations version of from the DC Nation cartoon Superman, who looks more like the Superman from the Justice League animated series, or from the Superman animated series, with a square jaw and a very cartoonish sort of look about him. Then again, DC Nations Flash with somewhat larger eyes. Again, closely reminiscing the look of Flash from the Justice League Unlimited series. Then we have Wonder Woman, one of the first 12-inch Wonder Woman from this sort of line. She looks pretty neat. Now, unfortunately, she does not come with any sword or shield or anything like that. Then next to her is the Spin Master's take on Wonder Woman, and she looks more like she looks more like the vintage story of Wonder Woman from the Superpowers from back in the 80s. And the thing is, the color of her costume is quite bright, which is a nice touch, and colors look a lot livelier anyhow. There is another version of Wonder Woman out there that was from the True Moves. That one I did not find at all. I think she sold out rather fast. So I covered Batman here. Moving along to DC Nation cartoon series Wonder Woman. She looks very cartoonish indeed. Costume looks a little bit too bland. Her head is a bit oversized. So not the best version out there. The 2 behind her look far better. Forgot to mention about this one behind her here that costume is based on the New 52 comic book series as well, just like the Superman I mentioned earlier. Over here we have the Detective Batman from the True Move series in his blue and gray attire, the classic look or the classic costume that he wears. And this is one of the best representations of Batman from all these Batman versions out there. Moving along at the top here, I believe this guy is not called Nightwing. My goodness, I misplaced his name. He's a type of Batman character as well, but it's not Bruce Wayne. It's a different person under there. And I believe this fellow takes over from Batman, or allies himself with Batman, if I can only remember. Sorry guys, the name really escapes my mind right now. I might put it in the comments if I can catch his name, if I can remember it. Next to him is a DC Nation cartoon series Batman in a completely black attire. And then next to him is Hawkman. Now Hawkman doesn't get a whole lot of exposure. It's usually the Hawk Girl who's represented, but he did have a couple of appearances in the cartoons and such. However, this is not his classic costume that he's wearing, and unfortunately he does not come with his weapon, which would be the magical mace that both him and Hawkgirl carry in battle. And again, since it's based on a cartoon series, the look is very cartoonish, not really comic book based or anything like that. Still, at least a nice attempt at bringing him into a 12-inch form. Now, in the next row here, we have Jason Momoa as Aquaman from the Aquaman movie. The figure came out really nice and captured the likeness of the actor, and all around a great looking figure. Then we have Queen Mera, the wife of Aquaman, a very nice looking 12-inch figure. There's not enough female 12-inch figures in this line, and it would be nice to see Supergirl and a couple of other ones, but I guess not at this time, I suppose. Then next to her is another version of, an earlier version of movie-based Aquaman, but this one is from the Superman vs. Batman, where Aquaman has only a cameo appearance. Now, the earlier figure I shown looks a lot better than this one. This is sort of an early attempt from a few years back. Now we have some versions of Robin here, the Boy Wonder. Now, this particular version would be from the True Moves. His costume looks very detailed, and a serious look on his face, and I'm not really sure at this point which Robin would this be. I would assume that this is the latest Robin, Damian, the son of Batman, but I am not 100% sure, because his costume always goes through some sort of changes, meaning Robins, with some modifications. So each Robin who takes over wears a Robin costume, but somewhat modified. Now this is the earliest attempt at a 12-inch figure of Robin that came from the DC Justice League in roughly about 7-8 years ago, a while back. He's quite skinny and tall, and I believe this one might be the original Robin, meaning Dick Grayson, who later becomes Nightwing. He gives me that vibe that he might be that particular one. And then of course this last one is Robin from the Spin Master, so their take on him, and the costume looks somewhat different, not as detailed as the one from the True Moves, but this particular one, I firmly believe that this would be Damian, the son of Batman, or at least I believe he is, and there is not that much detail in his costume this time around, except really for these belt pouches. Now the last two we have here would be another version of Green Arrow, or as he's known in his non-superhero persona as Oliver Queen, a millionaire. This version also comes with a bow, and both versions of Green Arrow, this one and the particular one before that I showed at the beginning of the video, portray Green Arrow with the hood over his head. When usually in the old comics and such, he would usually have this a Robin Hood style hat, a pointy hat that he would wear, but in later comics and cartoons they switched it that he would just have a hood over his head rather than the hat. I'm not sure what brought about that change, but it's an interesting thing to note. And then the last one here would be, I believe, Sub-Zero Batman, just a variation of the Detective Batman. This is sort of, I guess, for him fighting in the freezing temperatures or when he's tackling Mr. Freeze. So yeah, so that would be the last ones in my collection at this time. So yeah, this would be all of them, including whatever few variations I did get. There is not that many. It's mostly individual characters. Some look great, some not as good as one would expect. But there is still many characters out there that I didn't manage to find at all. As an example, I would mention Blue Beetle, who does come in a 12-inch size, and Firestorm as well, and a couple of other ones. Because the problem with the supply of figures such as these is that they're not always easy to find, and sometimes some ways we don't even get over here. So certain ones eluded me. But yeah, at least I share with you guys the ones that I do have. So anyway, that is all. Thanks for watching, and catch you guys next time. Bye.